So the thing about mobile games is they typically have a commitment to make sure that you log in consistently, because once you get in to begin with, it's more likely that you'll stay and you'll keep playing, and that's their goal. Not to mention they sometimes have tiers, so they've got the free-to-play level as well as the pay-to-play, so the people that are members of this community obviously will get more rewards for each time they log in. But beyond that, this game is pretty interesting because it's got a wide variety of different activities that you can participate in, as of course most of these style of games really do. It does have some of the idle elements that are also popular, but you can also be involved and experience different levels of the game that way. So I'm pretty sure this battle I ended up losing, and that might be why I stopped playing this game, is just because there were certain thresholds that weren't really easily crossable. So instead of spending infinitely longer times training and playing and acquiring the level of characters necessary, I just kind of moved on to the next game. But if that's the kind of thing you're into, endless grinding for pixel levels, be my guest. I'm sure this has endless hours that you could pour into it with somewhat decent returns, as I've gotten reasonably far, relatively speaking, because I don't know the full scope of this game. But nonetheless, it is interesting. So yeah, the little life, the hearts that you saw decreasing over my character versus that character obviously represented the life. So this is one of the parts of the map adventure. And okay, so yeah, now I'm going back to the main screen. Let's see. So as you can see from there are lots of options, lots of different places to go. This particular one, it's repeating. I believe you can do it several times daily, but don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've actually played this game. But moral of the story is you just start dropping characters and they attack relatively weak and defenseless or non-violent gold statues. If you hit the one in the back, it doesn't have, it has unlimited life. So the more times you hit it, the more creatures it spawns. And every time you defeat one, obviously you get currency or gold, however you want to look at it. So it's a pretty cool little bonus, and you are limited, like it says, 7 turns at the top. So that's why it is reasonable to expect that, hey, you're not just going to totally milk this for endless money. It will be restricted or constrained at a certain point. But it is a win-win, and it does look like the repeat is about a 4-hour timer. So if you were really gung-ho about that particular activity, you could just set a real timer for 4 hours, hop back on the game at that point, get your gold, and then hop off. So that was what you see here is my first time with this mini game. So I literally had no idea what was going on, and it didn't go well. So the next time, obviously, I dominated because it's a very basic and simple concept. So yeah, if they get to your base back there, obviously you lose. So now that I have grasped that basic concept, I started dropping my units much more efficiently and rapidly to prevent that one basic dilemma. So I've got my 2 sets of triple archers right at the top where the majority are spawning, but it does look like as you place your units, you have the option to acquire different styles of units. I can't exactly tell you which one is more advantageous than the next, but it does look like I have ran out of spaces to put units at this point, and now the ones on the right also have a shield, so they're stronger. But I think at one point here, oh no, maybe not, maybe I played at a different time, but if those attacking units got all the way over, they could theoretically destroy one of your attackers, or maybe it's about to happen, and from there you're able to replace him, because you only start with 8 placements for defense. So when the offense gets past that, you're able to replace it with either the same or a different unit if you had that available. So as is typical with this style of game, you have more and more attackers that are trying to get through, and they're using a very basic strategy such as run straight forward. So if you pay careful attention, you might see the subtle differences between each wave, aside from volume, whether they have a bigger weapon or a shield or something else. So it really didn't look like it took all that much for my unit to be defeated. They pretty much just looked at them funny and they fell over. So that was kind of disappointing. But nonetheless, it's just one of many mini games here within this game. The style of battle is the same thing you saw earlier, but I'm pretty sure I didn't lose this time. So you'll see the right way to battle. I think this might be more of a PvP style as opposed to fighting the NPCs or the other characters within the game progression. So I couldn't tell you exactly why they did 0 damage, but if you look at the sword and the heart above each character that's on the battlefield, obviously that's the amount of damage they do and the amount of damage they can take. So the strategy obviously that you employ in developing your party, because you're only allowed to have a certain amount of battlers available at any given time, that strategy is obviously what will ultimately make you more successful at the game. So the characters themselves are amusingly enough, their animation and their overall design, and they do have more detail if you were to go into like the little cards that you see in the left. Obviously during the battle you can't, but there is some menu that I may or may not have scrolled through for this video that you're able to see more detail for each of the characters. And they do have a pretty wide variety of characters, but moral of the story is there's definitely a lot to do. So at the end of that battle, the heart over the main or the controlling character there went to 0, so I won. So that royal box is probably something that is a pay-to-play, pay-to-win kind of thing. And if you see all the stuff at the bottom, each battle that you do in PvP opens a chest or gives you the time limit to open the chest. And then after like 3 or 5 of them, you can open a slightly bigger chest. And I don't remember if I do all those battles in this video, but I think the reward wasn't too remarkable or anything. But hey, it's a little special bonus for going to the trouble in the first place. And there you have it. So this is... Actually, I don't even know what just happened there. It just looked like he dropped dead. But, so yeah, I've got a good little win streak going on, which is obviously just another kind of useful thing to have going on. And part of the treasure chest rewards that you saw are the cards and other benefits. And you can transcend or upgrade each of these characters or monsters the more cards you have and you obtain of them. It costs a little bit of the currency, but then they gain, obviously, attack or health or levels or all of the above. So there you see. And I think if you were able to click on them or move them around, you'd be able to see more details of their design. But then if you level up, or I guess you get to a higher level in the competition, you're able to bring more characters in that would be able to be played or battled with at any given point in time. So I guess I got like to 5/7 of the character cap, which isn't bad. And then, as you can see, I'm kind of reassessing which characters fit the strategy that I need to win the current battles and possibly the previous battle that I was not victorious in. Because obviously the ones that are better at defense might be good for one strategy or for one placement, but not another. So that's obviously why you have the large variety of characters. So these are just other various achievements that pretty much happen by default. As you play the game, you'll naturally be able to claim lots of things. And this is another staple of these kinds of games. There is basically a daily checklist or activity log And if you take that and make it into like a real life motto, you'd actually be pretty successful. If you check off things every single day that you want to do, then guess what? Just the fact that you're writing them down, checking them off, and following a system, you're more likely to accomplish your goals. So check out my video on Atomic Habits for more on that. And thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.